White, or everyone calls me Uncle Ebo White. You know, what you'll be 5 years from now depends on only two things: the books you read and the people you meet. On Personality Profile, you meet the kind of people you need to meet to make your transition to your greatness. You want a program that would help you, inspire you, motivate you. Why bother to turn to other channels? Just stay here on Personality Profile and you get all the inspiration you need.
Best. You can be the King Kong banging on your chest.
You can beat the world, you can beat the war. You can talk to God, go banging on his door.
You can throw your hands up, you can beat the clock. You can move a mountain, you can break rocks.
You can be a master, don't wait for luck. Dedicate yourself and you can find yourself
standing in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And the world's gonna know your name. You can walk straight through hell with a smile.
You could be the hero, you can get the gold. Breaking all the records they thought never could be broke.
Yeah, do it for your people, do it for your pride. And you're never gonna know if you never even try.
Do it for your country, do it for your name. Cause there's gonna be a day when you're
standing in the Hall of Fame. And the world's gonna know your name. Politicians be preachers, be believers, be leaders, be astronauts, be champions, be truth seekers, be students, be teachers, be politicians, be preachers, be believers, be leaders, be astronauts, be champions, standing in the Hall of Fame. And the world's gonna know your name.
Alrighty, 10 minutes past 7 p.m. You're locked on to Joy 99.7 FM. It's a Thursday evening, and I'm pretty sure you know exactly what's about to happen on your radio. We call it Personality Profile, a beautiful evening radio show program that brings you some of the best conversations. We try to delve into the life and times of people who have lived life, people who have done extraordinary things in their personal lives and have had great impacts on other people in the country and beyond. And tonight is going to be an exceptional one. My name is Kofi Hayford. You're welcome to Personality Profile. You can stay interactive with us. I'm pretty sure you're going to have a lot of questions tonight, and maybe you have encountered my guest in your lifetime, and so you would want to share a few thoughts, a few opinions about him, and perhaps some good sentiments, if for lack of a better word, about him tonight on the show. You can do so via our WhatsApp number 055-1111-997, 055-1111-997. Tonight we sit down with a man whose career has crossed different bridges and different paths. It's crossed the worlds of academia, law, finance, banking, and public policy. And now you're thinking, how can one man be all over the place? Well, yes, that is who he is. He's a distinguished scholar and associate professor of accounting and finance. He is currently the vice president and provost of Heritage Christian University and the dean of graduate studies and research at Heritage Christian University. He's also a chartered accountant. He's a barrister at law. He's a chartered tax accountant. He's a chartered banker. He's a chartered economist and a chartered economic policy analyst. He's moved from advising governments and global institutions to shaping the generation of leaders, and his journey is one of discipline, service, and excellence. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my total pleasure to welcome into the studio and to welcome here on Personality Profile, Professor Williams Abayaawien Atuilik. Prof, did I get the name right?
The middle name is Abayaawien.
Abayaawien. So I left the win.
Yes, Abayaawien. But thank you very much. It's my pleasure. It's my absolute and total pleasure to be here.
I'm happy to meet you. I mean, like I said, when I received your profile, I was blown away.
Well, thank you.
Yes, and I was asking myself, how come one person has all these things, all these belts? How did you do it?
First of all, the grace of God and applying yourself to it, being interested. You must be interested in anything to be able to get it done.
That's right.
So I have shown interest and I have applied myself to what I'm interested in. God's grace also have been abundant.
That's great. I'm happy to hear that. There's one thing that I've been doing a little research on you. I've seen a couple of pictures of you as well on social media, and I realized that you're always, in some form of a cowboy hat. So I was expecting to see you in a cowboy hat. What's the story behind the hat?
Well, I had an uncle, a grand uncle, who was a mentor when I was growing up, and I saw him always in a hat, and it was nice.
You liked it,
and I liked it, and so I took to it. Yeah, but the whole of this year, I have decided to wear fugu, and that's why you are seeing me in fugu today.
And I love.
Else you would have seen me in
the hat.
In a hat.
Yeah,
yes.
I love the fact that you're in fugu today. If I may ask, where exactly do you come from? And I'm asking because I have a neighbor who is called Atuilik.
Oh, okay.
Yes, 3 daughters, beautiful names. Awe Sekumina. I don't know if it's familiar.
They definitely will come from my area.
Exactly.
So I'm from Fumbisi in the Upper East region.
Okay.
The Bulsa South district of Upper East region, and I come from Fumbisi specifically. I grew up there.
Okay.
So and anytime I go home, I'm very excited.
Born and bred.
Born in Accra, bred in Fumbisi, and then now living and working in Accra.
I see. That's nice. Let's get to know Professor Atuilik. I mean, when people introduce you, they are probably talking about, they're mentioning a lawyer, an accountant, a banker, economist, tax consultant, and all these titles. But away from that, who is Professor Williams Atuilik?
Well, I am son of Bulsa from Upper East, as I have already told you. Born to Abayaawien Atuilik, who never went to school.
Okay.
And born in Accra, lived initially at Sukura, and lived a hustling life initially, and then went to Fumbisi, where I went to primary school, and Sandema, where I went to junior high school, and helped my grandparents a lot, farming and taking care of cattle for a long time, those formative years.
Right.
And then got back to Accra to do afternoon, school, and traded on the streets. To cut a living for myself and my siblings, who were multiplying their numbers as the times went by. And then, by God's grace, completed university, became a chartered accountant, worked a couple of places, and had the privilege to rise and serve in a number of roles with different organizations.
Okay, I see. There are lots to talk about today. In fact, I was telling my producer that if we have to discuss, some of your achievements, it will take us about 3 hours. So let's take it slowly, right? And then we'll just build up. Now, it looks like you went against the rain. And when I say that, people would rather be born born up north and head down south to Accra, but you were born here
I was born in Accra.
and went back.
To the north.
What kind of childhood did you have? First in Accra and then later in your hometown?
Well, in Accra, I lived in a neighborhood that had a lot of hustlers.
Right.
And I was becoming a little bit stubborn.
Okay.
And so my parents, particularly my father, decided to send me home to be trained by my grandparents.
Do you think it worked?
One of the greatest things that my dad, now on hindsight, that he did for me was to send me to the north.
Wow.
Where I supported my grandparents, helping them to farm at that very young age. And my grandfather was a disciplinarian, a very serious disciplinarian. You have to get up early, be with him in the farms, and where you have to, be with the family animals, taking care of them, you have to be there. And, so in Accra, it was quite tough. And I was in the company of so many, guys who, on hindsight, I may not have turned out well, given the type of company
that you had,
that I had at that early stage. But the North reshaped me completely and gave me the discipline of hard work and long hours of hard work. At the time, I thought it was punishment.
Right.
But on hindsight, I have built the capacity to do a lot of work for long hours, and those who are close to me say I have some stamina. I just thank God for it. I think it gets back to my grandparents from the north.
Right.
And so I say to young people who are being trained by their parents to work hard, to do, it's not punishment. So that's the kind of childhood I had. My grandparents, poor as they were, they'll give me anything that I needed, but I've got to work.
Right.
And initially, school was not a thing.
So which school? Basic school in?
Let's
start from the north.
I actually started school in Accra.
Okay.
JB Dankwa Memorial Preparatory, school. It was a private school founded by, and it was actually the owner of that school who took me to school.
Oh.
She came around. My father used to multitask, tailor, so many different things. And one day he was sewing, and we were running around in the compound with my colleagues, and she came apparently looking for students or pupils for her school.
Okay.
And asked my parents whose child and why we were not in school. And so you can take them to school. They are
Just like that.
Just like that. And then she took us to school. But I was not going to school. I was always running around doing other stuff.
Okay.
And that took me to the north.
Right. So in the north, let's see the schools that you attended.
LA primary school. That's where, from class 2 through class 6, that's where I was. And there at the time, there were 3 classroom blocks, some of which was partitioned for offices and store for books. And so we sat in classrooms where, if you were in class 4, so class 4, class 5, class 6 were in the same room. One side will face this side of the wall, the other will face. So you chose, as a student, you chose which teacher you wanted to listen to.
Very interesting.
And in the dry season, most of the time we'll be under the trees, outside, sitting on the floor, learning. But all of that has since changed. And anytime I visit the place, I'm happy, pleasantly happy that the surroundings have changed and the classrooms are sufficient. That's nice.
And then you made it to the
senior
high school.
To junior high school.
Okay.
And the story to junior high school too was quite interesting. My grandfather, at the time I had grown enough to be able to support him, to work. So we were very reluctant to allow me to leave the house and go to a different town to attend junior high school. But one of my teachers, late now, conspired with my grandmother and took me to the school by force without his knowledge. I see. And went home and told him that I've taken your son to school.
You can't do FOCO. I see. So that was it for GSS.
That was it for GSS.
And then you went
stayed there for 3 years.
3 years.
Then from there I came back to Accra.
Okay.
And I had good grades, but again, no good counseling, nobody to look up to direct you, to show you where to go and how to do things. So I took to trading on the streets in Accra.
When you returned?
When I returned. Helping my mom, who has been a petty trader until recently. I settled her to do some other things.
Right.
Helping her, trade on the streets. And decided to go to afternoon school. It's a commercial school, so did Royal Society of Arts those days, RSA stages 1, 2, 3. So I'll go to school in the afternoon. I'll go and do some kwak, as we call it, in the morning, and then in the afternoon I'll go to school. And so for 4 years, anyway, by the second year, my fortunes had changed and I stopped trading.
Okay.
And I took to teaching.
Okay.
Teaching private candidates, students, pupils in primary school. I'll go to their homes and teach them.
At this time, you were in SS?
It's not a commercial school. It's a private commercial school.
Okay.
Doing RSA, Royal Society of Arts.
Okay.
Very different from
the usual,
the
right?
usual,
okay.
Yeah. So I wrote O levels as a private candidate.
Great.
So I registered as a private candidate and wrote my A levels.
Okay.
But I was very fortunate. The O-level results came out excellent. So I announced it at church. And one police officer who was impressed with the results asked me to teach the children at home. They were in classes 3, 4, 5. And so that was another turning point in my life.
So you became a private teacher at home?
Private teacher at home.
Okay.
So I would go to this police officer's house and teach the kids. And over time, a lot of other kids in the neighborhood came to join. It became a school. And over time, I had established 4 different campuses teaching kids.
in different areas,
in different areas. Now, this time in the evenings. And so I focus on going to school without having to go on the streets to buy or to sell any longer.
Right. I agree that was a defining moment.
It was
for
a
you.
very important moment. But I continued still with the RSA 3 and then did A levels as a private candidate.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in which year did you move on to the university? Did you go directly after you were done with the A levels?
So when I finished, I had to do national service, and I was posted to Seshubekwa in now Northwestern region. Then it was Western region, and I did 1 year national service, and I was fortunate to gain employment at KNUST.
So what did you do for national service? Teaching?
I was teaching.
Okay.
And that was an interesting moment of my life. I taught mathematics from Form 1 to Form 3. They had 2 sessions, morning and afternoon. And the whole school, I would teach. I insisted I wanted to do it. I would teach the morning session, teach the afternoon session, class, Form 1, Form 2, Form 3.
No break.
And I was so excited. I was just excited doing it.
Did you build this love for teaching when you returned from the north and, you were trying to help your mom move from the street and, going into teaching?
I think the love to teach has always been there. Even in primary school, I was always teaching juniors and classmates. And in junior high school, I found myself always teaching my colleagues. But it became even more interesting when I started teaching primary school pupils formally, to be paid. The interest grew.
Wow.
And I realized that at commercial school, anytime I explain concepts to my colleagues, they seem to understand it sometimes better than the way our teacher would do. So I realized very early that teaching was, and anytime I step into the I just get excited. I'm just happy.
Content.
Very happy with it.
I mean, a lot of people would have probably gone on to the teacher training college, but you chose to read business administration with an accounting at the University of Ghana, Legon.
All right. So to go into the teacher training college would have been an option that I would have taken.
Okay.
Given the fact that at the time things were hard and I needed financial support. Yeah. I was just lucky to gain employment. I was considering going to the teacher training college when I gained employment as an accounts clerk. And I had very good results. So I said, well, then I will work a little bit, save some money, and go to the university instead.
Right.
So After 2.5 years of work as an accounts clerk, I started to do the Institute of Chartered Accountants exams and went to the University of Ghana to do business administration.
So your path is quite different from the usual.
Yes, very different.
Wow.
I was lucky to complete the professional exams of the Institute of Chartered Accountants Ghana before I finished my first degree.
Wow.
That gave me a very broad platform.
Right.
And I had already experienced multitasking, working in different places to support my education. And as a chartered accountant, it gave me opportunities that I did not imagine.
At what points did law come into the story?
I had always wanted to read law, and the interest to read law actually for me came from shaking the hands of a lawyer.
Oh, tell us about it.
We were in school and they told us that a lawyer is visiting us, and the person came dressed like a lawyer. It was admirable. And they spoke, very eloquent English, and we all read it. And most of us said, when we grow up, we'll be
lawyers. So for those of you listening, Doc has a Bachelor of Law degree, LLB, from University of Ghana, Legon. So I mean, don't be lost. We've talked about the business administration degree, and now we're talking about the LLB. But Doc, that's not the only thing that you have achieved when it comes to education. I just quickly want to run through. You have an executive certificate in leadership from Stanford University, an executive leadership certificate from Berkeley University of California, and then, of course, an executive certificate in public financial management in a changing world, Harvard Kennedy School of Government, Cambridge, Massachusetts in USA. And then you have a Master of Science in Business Administration Finance from GIMPA, right? Master of Arts in Economic Policy Management from the University of Ghana, Legon. And then, of course, you have a PhD in Business Administration Accounting, Capella University, Minneapolis, Minnesota, USA. And these are that's why in my intro I said that you seem to be all over the place. What is that one thing that kept you disciplined throughout achieving all these educational milestones?
I've always been interested to move out, to lift my family and our generation out of poverty, and I saw early that education was a route to do that. As I said, my father was a laborer, a night watchman, and a pantryman when I was growing up, and my mother was a petty trader. They earned very little. I'm very proud of them. They took care of us and did everything that they could to take care of us. But I followed my father most of the time, many places that he went. And I saw that the reason my father was the way he was, very hardworking man, but no certificate, no education. Right. So I promised myself that I would do as much to lift myself up and encourage my siblings and the people around me, so we can, change the narrative. Right. And I saw that education could change that. And thankfully, I think it's been so.
Yeah, but I'm actually confused about how you were able to go through all these.
Well, it takes discipline.
No, so not just the discipline aspect, but I'm also thinking how you were able to fund your education.
In fact, I funded all of my education
by yourself.
By myself.
What's the secret?
It's just hard work. So I did a lot of things at the same time, and I channel a lot of my resources back into education. Okay, after first degree, I was a chartered accountant, and I had passion to teach. I have taught in almost most of the universities around us. I've taught at, and at one point in time, I would be doing, and I was consulting. I had a privilege from those. After that time, to now begin consulting for the multinational institutions, and that changed my financial situation significantly. Right, and that gave me the capacity to now be able to fund my education in the U.S. and to attend a number of other, academic institutions outside of Ghana. Right, but even before in Ghana, most of the institutions that I had to fund them personally.
I like the fact that you mentioned that you worked in, multinational sectors. But let me find out, was there ever a point during your come up where you felt like giving up because you were doing so many things at a time?
Several. Several times. There have been several times I felt like, what's all this about? Let me just stop.
What is the most pressing one? The one that you remember and feel like, wow.
Most of it comes from being overwhelmed. You need money to pay for something. You can't find the money, and then there's a lot of work to do. You have to do this and that and that. And then you ask yourself, but what is all of this? And I combine a number of things at the same time.
I can see that.
At the same time, and I was teaching full time in an institution.
Wow.
And then doing part-time work, and at a point I asked myself, why am I doing all of this? Why don't you just give up?
2 masters.
I started MSc Business Administration Finance and MA Economic Policy Management at the same time. And it wasn't because I had planned to do 2 masters. I applied for 2 of them just in case, because I wanted to go to school. And I didn't want to give a chance in case I don't get, and then I'll waste another year. And I had the admission in the less preferred one, and I had to make some payment, about $3,000 US, and I paid the money.
Wow.
Then the most preferred admission came, and I could not let it go. So I actually remember asking for a refund from the first institution, and they said, no, they will
it's
not
not possible.
So I said, no, but I can't struggle to make the $3,000, which was half of the fee, and let it go. So I had to struggle to combine. And it meant I had to work hard, to raise the funding. But it turned out I was able to complete all of it. There have been several occasions where the pressure of meeting timelines could push you to say, why are you struggling all this? Why don't you get? So to answer your question,
several times.
There have been several times.
So I mean, if you look back, or let's just travel back into time, right? Let's say 25 years ago, or what would you have told yourself, 25 years ago? Okay, so let's not say 25 years ago, but rather, what would you tell your 25-year-old self? What would you have told?
I was a very determined, very ambitious, very positive person, and I knew that the future would look great, particularly if I kept working hard as I had started. But I did not, honestly speaking, I did not think that I would be able to do most of the things that I have been able to do so quickly.
Right.
And I just thank God. And a lot of people have been very helpful, encouraging, supporting, and then, just motivating. So 25 or several years back, even though I knew that I would be different from the way I started life, I didn't truly anticipate that I would be able to. If you told me that I was going to be a lawyer, an accountant, a banker, a tax consultant, an economist, all of them, I would laugh.
Yeah.
Because the situation then was really very serious.
Right.
Struggle to find, food to eat. And you had to go and sell, those boys
on the streets,
on the street. So it was that, serious.
How do you feel when you see some of those boys
very
now?
Sympathetic.
Okay.
Very, very sympathetic. Most of them are pushed to do what they are doing for survival.
Right.
And if any of them is listening, they should look beyond what they are doing.
Right.
Now, it was not my interest to do that. My interest was to look ahead, how I would, promote myself through education so that I can create things and be able to support myself. But you need a channel to finance that. And so anything legal, legitimate that you can do and do it well, and then funnel the resources to supporting a more sustainable career, a more rewarding venture, including business. It's rewarding. So when I meet people doing those kinds of stuff, I'm very sympathetic, and I know they can make it.
I like that, and I'm very sure that everyone that is listening will probably pick a thing or two from what you've said so far. Now let's move away from your educational prowess and achievements and talk about your profession. You mentioned that you work with multinationals, and that gave you a very good push, right, and a boost to achieve even more with your own career. Again, let me quickly run through some of the things that you've done. You've been a consultant, right? the African Development Bank, the World Bank. You've worked with USAID, WHO, DFID, Massim Consult. That's for yourself, right? You've gone to South Africa. You've worked in Liberia, Somalia, Sierra Leone, Botswana, Bangladesh. In the fields of governance, leadership, accounting, financial management, public financial management, international public sector. Doc, you have really achieved a lot. Before you tell me about how all these started, what is that one principle that has guided your path?
Dedication. Do what you are doing with passion and with honesty. Be sincere. Have a heart to serve.
Okay.
And serve with humility. And give your best. Anytime you have been given an assignment, see it as a privilege. A privilege to serve people with honestly and passionately to the best of your ability, without wondering without being bothered how much you will get from it, who is watching you or not watching you. Just do your best.
Okay.
That has guided me and has opened doors for me.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I'm happy to hear that. So what was your first international gig, for lack of a better word?
My first international engagement was to do some training for an NGO, finance managers of NGOs across Africa, in South Africa.
Which year was this? Do you remember?
This was 2007.
Oh, that's a long time
2007. That was my first international assignment. And I took it very seriously. By the time it was a 1 week training that somebody was supposed to facilitate, but the person at the last hour could not show up. And people who knew me approached me and actually encouraged me to step in. And I did. But I took it very seriously. When we concluded that assignment, I signed a contract to visit 13 countries to replicate what I had done
in South Africa.
The training, that main training, was done in South Africa.
Okay.
By the conclusion of that training, that same NGO has signed me on to visit their country offices in about 13 countries.
Wow.
To replicate that training.
Wow. What was the first thing you said when you got that contract?
It was mind-blowing. I could not execute that contract because shortly thereafter, I had a more permanent arrangement with the African Development Bank to be stationed in Liberia to advise the minister responsible for finance. And so I had to negotiate out of that assignment.
Yeah, the NGO assignment.
Exactly.
Wow.
But, the remuneration too was very good, far beyond my expectation.
You mean for
all of them?
Wow.
Given where I was, I was doing a lot of teaching around, everywhere.
But was it a difficult decision to move from the NGO to?
No, it wasn't at all. The NGO, we were actually in the process of concluding the arrangements.
Right.
And I was supposed to visit a number of countries and do trade, very temporary. This other engagement was more permanent, requiring me to be stationed. And so it wasn't a difficult decision to make.
Wow.
But I would have loved the opportunity to finish that one. Unfortunately, timing. Right. And after that assignment, I had referrals from colleagues that I had worked with to visit all the other places to do similar things. The ones you
so in the end, all those did you actually eventually go to all the 13?
Oh yes. Oh no, not on that assignment.
Yeah, I know, but with other with other companies, but a lot of them. Some of them.
Yeah, some of them.
I see. What's the most difficult professional decision that you've ever had to make? Because you seem to be spoiled for choice, a plethora of opportunities because of your wide knowledge in so many fields.
I'm not too sure. There have been a couple of times I have had difficulty accepting some engagements because of availability, but I would have loved to get it done. And so I would say no, but deep down I wish I had time to say yes. Other than that, I'm not sure I can say that there was a time I had difficulty making a professional decision.
Okay, so I mean, from the story that you've told us, you've traveled to quite a number of African countries.
Correct.
And there's a perception, I don't know if it's the reality, right, but there's a certain perception about African countries struggling with accountability, for example. And you have worked in so many of these countries. What have you noticed? Why do you think it is difficult for African countries to be accountable to themselves despite having strong laws and institutions?
Personal greed. It's the same everywhere. Individuals want to turn what is for the people to their personal assets.
Right.
That's fundamentally what it is. People want to make fortune out of what is for the majority of the people. And it's the same everywhere in Africa. It's the same.
But is there hope for the future?
Oh, there is hope. There is hope if we all... most of the time we tend to accuse those in authority. Of course, leadership matters. And the tone set by the leaders can define everything else.
Right.
But in Ghana and everywhere else I have seen that whilst leadership is always part of the problem, the people who have been given opportunity to serve often want to abuse the opportunity and to make fortune for themselves out of opportunities to serve the people. And so we break the laws with impunity.
You think that our background of religion doesn't even sort of push us to do the right thing? Do you think it comes in the way somehow?
Well, to be honest to you, my observation of people in the continent as far as religion, the majority of us are not sincere.
Despite being Christians and Muslims.
We wear white and go to church on Sunday, but deep in our minds,
it's different.
It's very different.
Are you a religious person?
Very religious, very, very. I go to the Church of Christ, and I'm very keenly interested in what happens at church. But my observation, as I've told you, is that we have people who go to church. They are really not true Christians.
Okay.
The majority of us in Ghana and Africa are churchgoers.
Right.
We do not live out the Christian values.
Okay.
So even though we paint ourselves with the label we are Christians, our actions are often contrary to what Christians are supposed to do.
Right.
And that is one of the... It's the same for our friends and our good friends in the mosque.
Do you have a personal Christian principle that you live by?
Humility. And compassion is one of the things that I'm very, very attracted to, because but for compassion, I would not be sitting here.
That's true.
And so reaching out to help as much as you can, but humbling yourself to do whatever you are supposed to do and treating everybody as a human being. Treat others fairly as you would want them to treat you. Be humble to everybody. Your education does not make you different. Your education, your wealth, your education, your race should not make you different. We are all human beings. As human beings, be humble. Give your best. Serve with dedication, but in humility. And be compassionate. Try and help as much as you can.
I like that. It's 7:45 p.m. If you're just joining us, this is Personality Profile, and we're having a sit down with Professor Atuilik. He is also the Provost and Vice President of Heritage Christian University. I like the fact that you have confirmed that you have a very strong Christian background, not church-going background. But is that why you are the Vice President of Heritage Christian University? And I'm asking that because I know that this is a university that does its best to instill Christian values in its students. And I find that, quite special. How did you end up at Heritage Christian University?
Thank you very much. I'm very, very, very interested in education.
Okay.
And so you would notice that much of my life have been lived in education, trying to train young people and to help them educate themselves.
Right.
And I very, very much believe in the Christian, principles. And so I was opportune to be on the council of Heritage Christian University. It was being formed.
Okay.
And when the university started, I was on the council. And the main vision of the university to instill good ethical values, Christian values in people who would dedicate themselves to serving with integrity, and then having to build competent people who can use their hands to do this. People who will build businesses and who will create and transform their own lives and help transform the lives of other people. That's something that I personally resonates. It resonates with me so hugely.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
At the time, I was working with one multinational.
Okay.
And I needed to make a decision. In fact, they actually asked me to move out of Ghana and relocate. The institution was based in South Africa. And I did not want to leave the country.
Wow.
I was already committed to teaching and research and educating. And I saw the vision of the university, and I thought that it resonated with me 100%.
Wow.
The emphasis on entrepreneurship, the emphasis on professionalizing different careers. So whatever you do, you build a profession out of it.
Okay.
And then getting people to live the values, the Christian values. So I work to Heritage to say, I like the vision. I want to support in building this university so we can educate entrepreneurial, leaders who can do their work with compassion and who will build businesses, will become professionals. My background, I belong to multiple professions.
Exactly.
So I'm very interested in seeing people who go through the university getting professional certificates,
Right.
so that they are able to do what they learn, not be theoretical.
Right.
And these were all already in the dreams and the visions of Heritage, and so I felt that it was a good place to help build. And so I'm very, very proud,
Right.
positively, for having been part of the team to start and to build Heritage to where we are, and I'm excited what we have done.
Are you? I mean, has it been worth it so far?
Extremely worth it.
So now your university is 11 years?
So we are in our 11th year.
11th
We
year.
celebrated 10 years last year.
Yeah, 2025.
We started in 2015. So 2025 was our 10th year. From a humble background, and I'm very proud to have been part of this journey from the beginning.
From the genesis.
It's one of my point of excitement and point of satisfaction.
I see the passion with which
because
you are
I
talking
really-
about it, but it makes a lot of sense. I mean,
I told you I was working for a multinational institution,
right?
And I was supposed to move out of Ghana and be stationed
In
again
South Africa. Right.
And I declined, and I made a decision that if there is space for me, I want to support to build this university. And so I'm excited from a humble beginning of only 5 programs. Now we have about 38 programs. All of them are accredited on the GTech website.
Wow.
We've been able to assemble very good, faculty. We call them scholar practitioners.
Okay.
Just like myself, you have to have the theoretical credentials of your PhD and whatever, but we encourage people to be professional. So most of our faculty, they are also in the practice of the profession.
Okay. Would you say that is one thing that sets the university apart from?
Absolutely.
Okay.
We've also been able to emphasize on entrepreneurship,
Okay.
which is something that anybody who goes through Heritage in whatever program that you do, you have to inculcate the entrepreneurial spirit that you finish and build a business out of it.
What does your role as vice president and provost entail, and has it also worked well into your bigger vision, being part of the Heritage Christian University story?
Absolutely. So my role as provost, I lead the academic wing of the university.
Okay.
So I provide oversight over the faculty and helping. So we have regular conversations on how we can do our work as faculty better, blending practice with theory and building our capacity. And as vice president, I support the president to run the university generally, and it's blended so nicely. And we've built good facilities, good infrastructural facilities.
What are some of them?
Oh, we have.
I mean, under your your leadership.
We have the state-of-the-art library. Our library has been acclaimed by any person who visits the place, and we are proud of it. We have state-of-the-art laboratory facilities for our nursing programs, skills lab. We've built that, and I'm proud of what we have built.
Okay.
We've built state-of-the-art classrooms that very congenial for learning, and the facilities are quite good, very serene, very green. I invite you to visit the campus to see for yourself. We've assembled a good team of professionals who are scholar practitioners, blending academics with profession. And we've from 7 programs, now we have 38 programs.
Wow, 38.
21 undergraduates and 17 graduate programs. And we are still building and expanding.
What do the students call you? Is there a special name or
most
Prof?
Of them call me Provost.
Okay.
Yeah, most of them call me Provost. But students will always have a secret name, for you.
Have you heard any of those?
Unfortunately
not.
Yeah.
If you are a student of Heritage Christian University, our text line is 055 1111997 055 1111997. We have just about 7 minutes to go. We've seen loads and loads of messages on the WhatsApp console. Doc, I would come back to you to ask you just a few more things, but let me take some of the messages. Gideon Naneje says, I'm listening to Personality Profile now and delighted to hear Prof. Williams Atuilik in your studio. We were mates at UG, Legon, and do belong to the same Church of Christ. And in fact, the man loves books. No wonder he has advanced so high in his profession. Congratulations to you, Prof. Okay, so that's from Gideon. Prof, do you know him?
Gideon, we were together. Very close. I know him.
I see.
Yeah,
that's
Gideon,
nice.
Greetings to you.
Okay. Second time listening to him on Joy platform. He changed my life after listening to him some years back. First, it was with Ade, that story. And that's a message from Daniel Japia, head of logistics. Okay. Thank you very much, Daniel of Smart. Kofi, Doc is an amazing person, humble and truly selfless when impacting knowledge. Ruby K sending in that one.
I know Ruby too.
Okay, great stuff. Edmund Awaite says, good evening, Hayford. I am very impressed with the presentation of your guest, Professor. I'd like to be linked with him. Okay, we'll see that. He's not difficult to find. You can find him on the campus of Heritage Christian University. What is the school? Amasama, is it?
The school is at Amasama.
Okay.
Off the Olympic Road.
Okay.
Yeah, the Olympic Stadium.
So, this one says, Dr. Atuilik taught me at Methodist University, and I was his class rep. He made accounting very simple, and he is the reason I am where I am. He was once an author of the level 1 ICAG textbook, which saw me through my professional journey. Yeah, Doc. So, I mean, because we don't have so much time, I couldn't touch on some of these things, but I know that you are also an author of how many books? More than a dozen.
Well, textbooks, and as for peer review research articles, they are in excess of 40.
Okay.
But textbooks, I had a privilege to write a number of the Institute of Chartered Accountants textbooks, but I had one textbook that was personal, but commissioned textbooks by the Accounting Technician Scheme of West Africa and Institute of Chartered Accountants. There'll be about together there'll be about 5 of them.
So, Doc, I mean, someone was asking that they want to meet you, and I'm telling they should come to
I'm
Heritage
very
Christian
excited to meet. One of the things I like to do is to mentor and to encourage and to motivate and to inspire young people. I still teach.
Oh, you still teach?
Oh, yeah. I've cut down on teaching significantly, but I teach a course at the undergraduate level and a number of courses.
What are some of these courses? So you have about 38 of them in the school.
Yes,
that's
programs.
Programs. So what are the top ones at Heritage?
So the master's programs, we have MSc Accounting and Finance, MSc Accounting Taxation, MSc Human Resource Management, and MSc Data Analytics for the IT people.
Right.
We have a Master of Christian, and then we have governance and corporate governance and leadership.
Okay.
We have organizational consulting and development.
What about the BSc and the BA programs?
So
About
at the
5 of them.
undergraduate, we have all the degrees for the business program at the undergrad level: accounting with computing, accounting and finance, marketing, human resource management, and then computer science, BSc, computer information technology, data analytics, management information systems. We have
so many of them.
Nursing, midwifery. We have communication studies, journalism, multimedia technology, and we have a diploma in media studies or communication.
So, Doc,
many of them.
Apart from people coming to see you personally and being inspired, why should anyone come to Heritage?
Because there are 3 things that set.
Okay.
One, the people who will teach you are accomplished people.
Okay.
They are scholars, they are practitioners. So they give you the theory and the practice, which is very important. Number 2, we encourage you beyond your academics to become a professional.
Okay.
Number 3, we encourage you to be entrepreneurial.
Okay.
So you build a business by the time you are done. And we support you. If you are lucky, you can get the financial grant, to do that.
I see.
Beyond that, the values that we ask you to. This world, I've traveled enough to know that as a people, we can do well for ourselves if we are selfless, we are humble, and we live a life of integrity and truth.
I see.
And that's what Heritage will do for anybody who comes through.
Prof, what do you want your students to remember you for?
As a humble teacher who shares knowledge generously and learns from them, and who is selfless, humble with them, and live in community with them, and to motivate and share their problems, and they share my problems.
And what would you want the world itself to remember you for?
As somebody who passed through, a humble guy who passed through and who gave as much as he could give to society.
You are big on humility.
It defines everything that I do.
Right.
So I treat the security officer, the janitor, as I want to be treated.
Right. I like that. Okay. Thank you very much for joining us. I wished and hoped that we could have had about 3 hours for this conversation, but I'm sure we'll catch up much later.
It's a privilege being here.
Yeah, and special shouts from Malik Bubune, one of your lecturers at Heritage.
He's a great guy. Like I told you, we have great faculty members at Heritage, and we invite people to come and interact with them. All right.
Very much for coming. Ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to the end of our conversation with Professor Williams Atuilik of Heritage Christian University. He is the Vice President and the Provost of the university, and he says that you can come there and, of course, come get your professions, your certificates, and you need. I hope that you have enjoyed this conversation. We streamed live on YouTube. You can check it out much later on. My name is Kofi Hayford, and this Personality Profile. Many thanks to the production team led by Anita Tay. Thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of our programs after